I want to tell you a story. It's not, I'm afraid, the story of a good nun. A good nun wouldn't whinge. A good nun wouldn't ask questions all the time. A good nun would know when to shut up. A good nun would lie back and think of the Vatican. A good nun would have found a way to cling to the dream of light that first led her to the convent. But how could I do that when I'd even forgotten how a nun walks?
Dearest sisters, I find myself so much at home here in Dublin. I'm off to Rome tomorrow. God bless, Ambrose.
Hold the presses!
284, don't you forget.
The Department of Education has the pleasure in awarding the prize for the best school paper 1968 to the Santo Spirito Sentinel. Editors Bridget Maloney and...
Oh, let me see, I don't believe it. Oh, we never would have done it without you.
Oh, don't be silly.
Guess
What?
what? We won!
When your extremities have come to rest, you may care to join us in the television room. Something perhaps you ought to see.
$284.
Vatican official Monsignor Labraschini came at the conclusion of a 5-year papal commission on birth control. The 8,000-word encyclical was published first in Latin, and its contents later
Is it
made
the
public in English.
It's the big
under
one,
the
birth
title
control.
On the Regulation of Birth. Statements issued by the Vatican have confirmed that the papal commission had arrived at a majority decision in favor of the regulation of conception within Catholic marriages. In yesterday's encyclical, however, Pope Paul has used the strongest possible language to reject any change in the Church's traditional position.
It's against.
Pope has
But it
rejected all
can't be.
forms of artificial
It's meant to
birth
be
control,
full.
including the
Everyone's
contraceptive
expecting a yes.
He has also renewed the
Youth
Roman
ban.
Catholic ban on abortion, including abortion.
Broke the bread, gave it to his disciples, and said, "Take this, all of you, and eat it. This is my body, which will be given up for you." The Humane Vitae encyclical is about birth control, yes. But it is about a great deal more. It is about the sanctity of human life. Humane Vitae. That is what it means. Human life. It is about an imperative which comes not from the Pope, but from God through the Pope. It is about his commandment to preserve, to foster, to generate life. Against the dictates of our material society, against the dictates of our selfish sexual urges, against the 1,001 pressures from the state, from the media, and most appropriately, since we are here today to open this Commonwealth-funded science block, from science. Pressure to get too big for our boots, to suppose that we know so much that we could play God and hold the
Funny
power
how the sanctity of
life
human
and
life
death
never gets a Guernsey when they're talking about Vietnam.
our mortal hands. Now, a few priests and other stirrers are making the media's job easier, speaking out against the Pope's decision and trying to make a name for themselves. Well, I can understand their position. They thought that Vatican approval was just around the corner. Quite a number of us did. But the fact is They jumped the gun and got it wrong.
What happens to them now? The ones who got it wrong?
Well, they have two alternatives. They can either toe the line, or if they think they know better than His Holiness, they can go and found their own church.
That's your solution, is it? Anyone who wants to exercise a bit of independent thought, chuck them out?
Sister Catherine, we are here to listen to the bishop, not to you.
No. I'm not wholly opposed to what Sister is saying. There is a place for informed debate, but that place is behind closed doors. As far as the public is concerned, we need to present a united front. The fact is, we have to sell this encyclical to the laity as though our jobs depended on it. Because, my friends, at bottom, they do.
Heavens, sister. Francis.
Hello.
Hi, Mrs. Maloney. I'm sorry to pop in unannounced, but we've got something to show Bridget. And I wanted to see if you're feeling better.
Oh, I'm fine, thank you. She's out in the bungalow. Come on through. Moya.
Hi, Brendan.
Say hello to Sister Keats.
Hello, Sister.
Hi, Keats.
Moy, you should be in bed. Kerry, clean makeup. And Brendan, have you done your homework?
Go on, Lily.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us.
What are you two doing here?
Hold out your hand.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Well, you reckon?
You deserved it. Both of you. And where am I going to find another couple of editors like you?
There must be somebody in next year's lot.
Not like you two. Not ones I can talk to.
Well, we'll come back and visit you. Won't we, Bridge?
You'll both be far too busy.
Kerry! Care! Care! Moy, darling, go out the back and get Bridget. Just Bridget. Hurry.
My dress.
Go!
I really think that we should call your doctor.
No. No, thanks, sister.
But you had to see someone.
I can't.
But we don't know
I did
if...
something to bring it on. Dr. Manton would know. After I was touch and go with Moy, I begged him to give me a hysterectomy. He wouldn't. He said he couldn't if it was for contraceptive purposes.
He's a Catholic, I take it.
What happens if I die one of these times? What about my other kids? What happens to them?
I think we should find you another doctor. One who'll listen to
I
you.
did want this one, sister, at the beginning. Another boy, I thought, in case anything happens to Tom. I'm sorry.
Love you.
Thanks for staying, sister.
Oh, that's fine. I only wish there was more I could have done. How's Mary?
Oh, she'll be right. This isn't the first time it's happened.
I would have thought that was the point.
Don't blame this on me, sister. It's your lot who've put Mary and me through this.
Well, why don't you take my lot up on it?
Well, how can we? Look, we've got to believe the church is right. If we haven't got that, what have we got?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to blame you.
Can I give you a lift back to the convent?
No. I'd just as soon walk. I'll see you later. Goodbye, Ken.
Sister.
Wait. I'll come with you.
No, don't. Your mother might need you.
The Maloney's rang saying you might get caught.
Thanks.
Look, I know I'm not Ambrose. But you can talk to me if there's anything troubling you, and I will try to understand.
Thank you.
Oh, Catherine, I'm really sorry about Mary Maloney's baby.
It's mad. Just mad. The woman's got 6 kids already. She's a physical wreck, Paul. Common sense should tell her that the encyclical doesn't apply to people like her.
Well, has she tried to speak to a parish priest?
A priest? What would a priest know? God, can you imagine her going to the Mons? He'd sit there with that simpering smile of his and tell her to offer it up.
Well, maybe not the Mons, but...
Oh, they're all the same. They don't know what women are going through. They don't care what women are going through. And by not getting up and doing something about it, we're as bad as they are.
I don't think we can do anything in our position.
You wouldn't say that if you were still out there with Jack.
I don't know how I feel. Jack could be saying, I told you so, and he'd be right. But I can't take any pleasure watching the church fall into a hole. I just can't. I'm back now, and I've got to make this work. But I'll tell you one thing. If I was out there having to deal with this whole birth control thing, I wouldn't give a damn what any nun had to say on the subject.
Okay. Where does that leave Mary and Ken?
Now, we have received a letter from the bishop and some notes from the Monsignor. And these provide guidelines for religious instruction on the subject of birth control. So I would like you to reschedule your RE classes around these straight away.
But what...
I don't think we need any discussion on this.
Terrific. We can't even have a discussion behind closed doors now. What was the point of Vatican II if now we're supposed to keep quiet and do whatever you tell us?
2 things. Firstly, these instructions are not from me, they are from the bishop.
They could come from the Pope's mother for
Secondly,
all I care.
I will discuss this issue with you till the cows come home, if that's what you want. But I don't see why everybody else should be held up listening to you grandstanding. Now, would you like to make an appointment?
No.
Fine. Now, we've had another card from Mother Ambrose, and she says, Dear sisters, how are you all? Having a wonderful time. The conference is going like a dream. But if I eat one more bowl of spaghetti, I'll come back the size of a house. God bless you all. Love, Mother Ambrose. Trying to pick holes?
Can you pick holes in a sieve?
Oh, no. Come on. You used to say that about St. Anselm.
You and he seem to be getting on quite well these days.
When we're talking. Can't ever see myself warming to this, though. What effect's it going to have? Not just here, but in the poorer countries of the world where people can't afford to be up to their ears in kids.
Do you think the Pope hasn't lain awake worrying about that?
Why can't he leave it to people's individual conscience?
Because his job doesn't work that way. Don't you hear the note of regret in his introduction? Don't you think that he would have liked to announce a more popular decision? But he has a duty to lead the world. To guide the consciences of Catholics all around the world. Remind them of the sanctity of marriage, the power of love, the value of life. Now, I accept all those things as the premises of his argument, so I'm bound to accept his conclusion.
I accept those things as the premises of his argument, too. What I want to know is whose life?
Well, perhaps on this one issue you'll allow me to say that I'm more of an idealist than you are.
But I still have to teach it the Church's way.
I'm not that much of an idealist.
The Church is not opposed to birth control. It's simply opposed to artificial contraception, because that is against natural law.
What's that?
Natural law describes the way nature behaves. Across the species, only humans have developed chemicals and other artificial products to interfere with natural reproduction.
You mean the pill, right?
Among other things.
So that's why the Church says we can't use the pill, because animals don't?
I'm not an expert on how the Church arrived at these conclusions.
Sister. Well,
Far away.
I was wondering if getting off at Redfern was a natural method.
If you're referring to the man withdrawing before ejaculation, firstly, it's extremely unreliable. Tiny amounts of sperm, enough to fertilize the ovum, may be secreted prior to ejaculation. And secondly, no, it's not a method the Church approves of. Because there's no Latin word for Redfern.
Well, is there any method that the Church will approve of? One that works, perhaps? Francis.
Well, there's always abstinence.
You'd be an expert on that. Stop. Shut up.
Don't presume to know what I think. Don't you ever.
I used to think teaching was about the light passed from teacher to pupil. A light they could use to find their way through the rest of their lives. Now, I don't know, the whole relationship feels poisoned. I think I'm losing my grip, Paddy.
Take mine.
That's how it was with these women. When you called into question everything they stood for. When you scratched and spat and blamed everyone else for your own irritability, they returned love. A love I continue to crave, but could never and never did deserve. Regardless of failures of doctrine, ideology, or even imagination, the fact is, I was surrounded by strong, luminous women, intent on doing good. And it's this flame that will draw others to it, whatever the numbers, whatever forms, no matter how many blind alleys the Church as a whole may stumble into.
I pray that through the infinite merits of Jesus Christ, that will grant me the graces necessary to serve thee in this life. Please. to obtain eternal happiness in the next. Amen.
And may God give you all the strength and the grace to do well in the exams ahead. While I realize that most of you will have your heads down over your books in the coming weeks, I would ask you all to take some time off next Sunday to attend a rally in the Domain. It's been organized by the laity of the church to demonstrate our support for the recent papal encyclical, to show the public that we, as Catholics, reject the murderous tide of abortion.
Ridiculous.
And reject smart permissiveness and the selfish materialism of the pill. Let us pray.
It's political brainwashing. Clergy's a pack of hypocrites.
Not sisters.
Most of them.
No! What's got into you lately? I can't say a thing without you sticking up for the bloody penguins.
That's because I'm going to be one.
What?
I want to go into the convent. I'm going to be a bloody penguin.
And what about us? And going to uni? What about working on the uni paper?
I'm sorry, I can't.
You moron.
I told the Monsignor you were feeling off colour.
This idiot wants to be a nun.
When my exams are over, can I come straight to the convent, sister?
Well, it's normal for postulants to begin in February, down at our farm. But if you'd like to start early, I can't see any reason why not.
Shouldn't Bridget at least wait till she has her results?
I don't think there's any doubt as to how good they're going to be.
No, but...
Why delay? Milk?
Yes, sister.
Now, tell me, how long have you known that you've had a vocation?
A couple of years at least, sister.
And you managed to keep it a secret all that time?
It was something Sister Catherine said when I was in third form.
The Lord does indeed move in mysterious ways.
Sister said that lots of people do good work. Doctors, nurses, social workers. But it's only really the nuns that make a career out of living good lives.
I must try that one out of my third formers. Now tell me, what did your parents say when you told them?
I haven't really had a chance to discuss it with them yet. Dad, I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. It's just I didn't think you'd understand because of uni and stuff.
What's Sister Catherine think of all this?
Well, of course, it's Bridget's decision. And I've pointed out that there's no rush, and that a bit of time between school and entering the convent mightn't be a bad idea. But she's keen to strike while the iron's hot, and...
Well, they're hardly going to knock one like this back.
Hardly.
Okay, love. If it's what you want.
Thanks, Dad.
You will still sit for your exams.
Heavens, yes.
Where's my paper?
Out the bag. On your bed.
Well, I think I might turn in for the night if no one minds. Good night, sister. Thanks for coming round.
I'll go.
Thanks, love.
It wasn't my idea, honestly.
Talk her out of it.
I'd dearly love to, but I can't force my opinions on her. I can't interfere with that decision.
Start writing now.
Couldn't you have given Bridget a better mark than this?
Sorry.
Look, I'll do better in the real exams as long as I can study harder in the next few weeks.
Good thing marks don't count for getting into the nuns. Bridgie, go and see what Kerry and Moy are up to, will you?
Yeah.
Don't be too hard on her.
I know, Ken and I haven't helped. Poor kid's probably wondering what's happening to her family. But